Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way Morning Briefing Live. I'm Tony Haggerty, at Haggerty on Twitter handle, as you can see. And I'm joined today by Aidan Macdonald at Aidan C. Macdonald. It's Friday, March the 17th, Aidan. Happy St. Patrick's Day and all that if you celebrate that kind of thing.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too, Tony. How are you getting on? You alright?
Yes, I'm fine. It's also Red Nose Day. So sorry, everybody, if you're just going to have to put up with these pair of clowns for the next wee while. So what can we say? But first and foremost, and if you get involved in Red Nose Day, good on you. Raising money, that's excellent. Well done, you. Now, first things first, Aidan. Got a new deal for people. They'll see it running along the ticker tape in the bottom. And it's £1 for 3 months of full access to everything that's written on the website, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Click the button. We say thank you to everybody that has done that. Click the button and subscribed. With the new deal, as you can see, subscribe to the Celtic Way and support top quality football journalism covering the club you love. It's now £1 for 3 months for the click of a button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And before I big up our sponsor, Aidan, I'll just flick this up, and only because it's Celtic related. Tony, could you please wish me and my twin sister Patricia a happy 60th birthday today, as we were both born at Lennox Castle Hospital, which is now known as Celtic Training Ground. So I think all the Celtic Way community will wish you a happy 60th birthday. Patrick Miller, Patricia Miller, there you go. We've done our good deed for the day. Aidan, happy birthday to them. Hope you have a wonderful day. And next we say thank you to SENECA, and the Celtic Way Morning Briefing is now sponsored by SENECA Medical Group, and SENECA are the #1 hair transplant company in Europe, and they offer innovative hair restoration treatments. And you can find out more about SENECA via the links in the description of this video. Now, wanted also to say thank you to a lot of people who got in touch yesterday about yesterday's show, and just the shows in general. Got some nice DMs saying that you appreciate what we do, and it's quite humbling when you receive messages like that. Aidan, I sent you one last night in the group chat, didn't I? And it was very kind and complimentary. So thank you, guys. Couldn't do it without you. We appreciate it. That's why we involve you every day. Flick your comments up, get discussion points, and we chew the fat over Celtic, the club that we all love and watch. And so thanks for that. Appreciate it, Aidan. It was a nice message, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, the message was really nice, as a lot of them have been. So we obviously really appreciate all the support, guys. And as Tony says, your comments make it when it comes to particularly the pods when we're doing Q&As and that. They're always really enjoyable, and the ones that I know I enjoy the most. So keep the comments coming.
And it gave us all a mention, Aidan. Didn't single anybody out. Gave us all a mention. So I was more chuffed with that. So thanks very much. It's all very kind of me. We appreciate it. We're delighted the fact that you enjoy what we do. Now, Celtic, Aidan. Day before game day, Celtic play Hibs in Paradise tomorrow. And we will come to predictions and team lineups et al. But wanted to just get your thoughts, Aidan, on this week's been a week of enlightenment for us all, hasn't it, in terms of Celtic players, some not being involved in international duty, yada yada. But news, Aidan, that injuries. Now, we found out about Carl Starfelt last Saturday, hip flexor, and said, so the manager might enlighten us a wee bit about that today. But we found out via other sources that Greg Taylor's been playing through the pain barrier with a lower leg problem. Stevie Clark decided to make that public. And also, we found out about Cameron Carter-Vickers, who seemingly has some kind of issue with his knee. I think it was the American camp that sort of divulged that information. Now, Celtic, Ange's never usually forthcoming in terms of injuries. He just says players are okay or whatever, and just lets you know what you need to know. Excuse me. Certainly the players mentioned, with the exception of Carl Stafford, who got taken off last week, but Cameron Carter-Vickers and Greg Taylor, you would never have known that they were playing through the pain barrier or they were nursing any kind of issues or injuries. So it'd be interesting to hear what Ange says about all those things today. Can't wait for that, Aidan.
Yeah, his press conference is definitely going to be interesting now. There's probably a wee bit of an added edge, given what some of the international managers have said. The only one was really, I suppose, Taylor did miss the home game against Hearts with a
Yeah,
sort of slight knock, so that was probably the only one that we kind of really realised was obviously carrying an injury longer term. Starfelt, like you said, did obviously go off at Tynecastle last weekend, so we knew there was maybe a wee bit of doubt there. But yeah, with him and Carter Vickers, hopefully they're okay. I mean, I'm still anticipating that at least 2 out of the 3 of them will still play
yeah.
tomorrow, Tony, unless Ange says anything drastic in today's press conference. But I think overall it's probably not a bad thing that they're getting a bit of a rest for the international break, as we obviously discussed the other day
Yeah.
with Taylor and with the Japanese players as well, because there's a lot of football being played this season, still plenty of games left. So pretty much a lot of the players that have been left out are regular starters as well. So the fact they're getting, I mean, I know they'll still be training during the international break, but the fact they're getting maybe a couple of weeks is a wee bit light, I don't think it's a bad thing at this time of the season.
That all-encompassing phrase, Aidan, which Ange is quite fond of, carrying a knock. It's like, what does that mean? But I guess it's a need-to-know basis, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it's not a knock that will keep you out of the team, but it's just letting people know that, not a problem per se, but that there's something there, a niggle or whatever. But he's quite fond of niggle and knock, isn't he? He's not actually fond of telling you kind of what it is, because maybe, like himself, it's not something to worry about or be overly concerned about.
Yeah, he's probably just not trying to create like a bit of drama when a player does pick up a knock. Everybody, quite rightly, because obviously so much of the squad have been doing well. When a key player picks up a knock, people do get concerned. So if he's maybe not entirely sure on a diagnosis, or it's not that serious, but they're maybe only going to miss one game, but hopefully Maiders falls into that camp. He also missed the game last weekend. He's another one also we're waiting to hear about, but hopefully he's going to be available for this game at the weekend. The fact that he was called up for Japan would say to me that he is hopefully going to be okay. So probably when it's not a serious one, he doesn't want to give too much information about it. Brendan Rodgers was similar as well, to be fair. Tony, looking back on it, he didn't really divulge a lot of information about players' injuries. So even if it was a more serious one, so if fingers crossed that they're all okay going
So
forward.
do we just write the story now? Celtic have got like injury doubts for a semi-final, and delete the names as appropriate.
I'll be getting into the line ready later on, Tony, I've got to say. So
Yes, indeed. But yeah, Celtic play Hibs tomorrow, Aidan. Hopefully they will keep or retain their 9-point lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Rangers play earlier in the day, don't they, 12:30 against Motherwell, so that could be reduced to 6, or it could stay at 9 by the time, or draw as well. Aidan, they could always draw too. So Celtic will know the result obviously before they take to the field at 3 o'clock on Saturday. But I guess Ange won't be too concerned with that, and neither will most Celtic supporters. It's about what Celtic do, and got a decent record against Hibs of late, Aidan.
yeah, a very good record and at home as well. I don't think Hibs have beat Celtic at home since 2009. I think it was under Tony Mowbray in the league the last time they got a victory at Parkhead. And obviously earlier this season, 6-1. One of the probably best performances of the season, James Forrest scoring a hat-trick on that occasion. So I think it's a sort of ideal game for going into the international break. I don't let jinx it, Tony, but I think it's an ideal game. Obviously, other game this season was a 4-0 victory at Easter Road. So sort of since Andrews came in, they seem to have got over that hoodoo really. That was a bit of a place like Almondvale that Celtic had struggled for a few years. And I think they had went several years without a victory in the league. Obviously, the caveat being that Hibs, there was a few years they were in the Championship. But yeah, no, it's definitely going. It'll be a tough game to an extent. We know Hibs are going to come and play expansive football, but fingers crossed, like the last couple of times, that'll leave a bit of space for the players to get in behind.
Yeah, you referenced the Easter Road game, 4-0 game. That was the night Aaron Moy broke his duck for Celtic, wasn't it? Scored twice, and Dyson Maida hit a worldie. And Kyogo did what Kyogo does, scored. So, that was one of the more professional and clinical performances of the season. And also the 6-1 game where James Forrest joined an elite band of men to score 100 goals for the club. excellent. Those were two terrific performances, and I guess anything approaching that, Aidan should see them over the line in this one.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, like you say, there is recent evidence of Celtic playing really well against Hibs, so hopefully see a repeat of that tomorrow, Tony.
Yes, indeed. Now we will pick our XIs, as you call them, or our...
I'm never going to live that down, am I, Tony?
No, you're never going to live it down. Our 11s later on, and we'll put that in the newsletter. But anybody definitely ruled in or ruled out for you, Aidan, without giving too much away?
Well, obviously in terms of definites, we don't fully know, but I think I'd kind of said before, and we were discussing it briefly off air, that even if Starfelt is okay, as hopefully we will get full confirmation of today, I think I would just give Kobayashi a run out, Tony, to be honest. Just the fact that he did pick up a knock, and if then he is going to be away potentially playing, I think I would just rather that Kobayashi got a start. I think Hibs at home sort of the perfect game for him. There's going to be plenty of space. He's going to hopefully have a lot of the ball, and I just think that it's a good chance for him to get a bit of a run out. There's not really any need to start Starfelt, I don't think, Tony. I think Ange basically said himself that he was struggling before the game again away at Tynecastle just because of the nature of the fixture. Obviously, it ended up being a bit of a stroll, but pre-match, obviously, we discussed it was going to be a tough game, and Ange had basically said that he kind of wanted Starfelt in there for that first half, but he didn't obviously word it exactly like this, but I do get the feeling that if it maybe wasn't Hearts away in the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup, he might have been happy for Kobayashi to start. And
Yeah.
I think you said that also you were through at Tynecastle covering the game, and Kobayashi came on, he did acquit himself quite well, so I'd be happy to see him start. I think outside of that, Tony, there might be a few other wee tweaks, but that's the sort of main one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I totally agree. The peak week G comes in and says starting 11 is more difficult to predict this week due to knocks, and puts that in inverted commas, as we've said. Yeah. Tell us about it, Pete. We're going to have to do it. But yeah, I mean, get your comments coming in, guys, who you think should be there or shouldn't be there. Aidan said he's quite happy to see Kobayashi coming in. I'm kind of thinking along those lines myself, depending on the extent and the nature of Greg Taylor and Cameron Carter-Vickers, their lower leg and knee respectively. But I just think a Celtic team without Cameron Carter-Vickers as you're ticking down the games in the kind of league run-in, I just can't envisage that at this moment in time, Aidan. And I just hope that the manager says everything's okay and that Cameron Vickers, it's nothing to worry about. But yeah, I wonder. I'm just kind of concerned. It's not a concern, but it's just been issues that have been raised this week, and that's three key players, basically.
Yeah.
Three of your four-man kind of tried and tested defence, isn't it? So it's we'll know more. We'll get some more meat on the bones in that when the manager speaks, and everybody loves to tune in to hear the manager. So I'm just interested to see how he deals with that. The fact that other people have been discussing the nature of injuries to his players, or if he gives it house room and just deals with it in the cool, calm, and collected manner which he usually deals with stuff, Aidan.
I think I know what he's going to say, Tony. Something along the lines of, "I don't watch other managers' press conferences." Obviously, that previously when he's discussed that, it's been maybe when somebody's been talking about Celtic, even when it's been giving them praise, he's kind of not really wanted to entertain it. The fact that is actually speaking about individual players and maybe a wee bit more serious, given injury factors or knocks, as he would say, he might give a wee bit of insight, but I would not be surprised, Tony, if that's the sort of retort we get from the manager. Just based off previous press conferences. But yeah, they're always entertaining, they're always worth watching. Ange Postecoglou's press conferences, and I'm sure today's will be no different.
K-Matsu says Kobayashi hasn't started alongside Cameron Carter-Vickers before. Good to give that a chance. Yep, I'm fully in agreement with that. I wouldn't take any unnecessary risk with the likes of Starfelt, although the Sweden manager said he'd hope to have him for the internationals next week, again his sixth cap. So I don't know. They're all sort of saying things, aren't they? We'll find out from the man that matters later on today. Patrick Miller just says, "You've just made me more emotional than I usually am." There you go, Aidan. Yeah. No problem, Patrick. Glad to be of service. Have a good day, you and Patricia. Hope it all goes well. Yeah, so, and somebody came in and said they wanted Iwata to start. I'm trying to find that comment yet. Stevie P says he would like Iwata to start. Iwata to start for you, Aidan, or do you still see that being a wee bit away yet with Celtic? Maybe wrap things up and give Iwata more starting game minutes?
I would expect McGregor to probably start tomorrow, Tony. I mean, I'm going to guess, I don't want to speak on the commenter's behalf, but I would guess the assumption is that he would be playing in the midfield in the number 6 position if he was to start the game. Obviously, when we've seen scouting reports, he actually did feature for Yokohama F. Marinos actually quite a bit at centre back last season. But I'd imagine if Starfelt isn't available, it would probably be Kobayashi that would come into that role. So I'm going to guess that they mean in midfield. But I just can't see him starting tomorrow, Tony. I just imagine it would be Cal McGregor unless there's a knock. I think I think Awata's going to be still getting a sort of minutes here and there at the moment, with the idea maybe being that if Touchwood, the league keeps progressing the way it does, if you get down to the last maybe 2 or 3 games and the league's already won, and then maybe gets a few starts. And then I think you'd made a good point previously that I nicked regularly on this, Tony, because it was a very good point about Awata for the Champions League. I think that could be an interesting proposition for next season. And just in general, even just the Champions League, maybe it will be another option to push McGregor forward.
Yeah. I mean,
in
that's
the next campaign. But I just don't think I can see him starting tomorrow, Tony, unless there's any sort of last minute injury concerns.
no, neither do I, and that's no slight on Iwata because, excuse me, because I've liked what he's done when he's came on in those cameos and he's played very, very well. But you're permanent any 3 from 4 at the minute, aren't you? McGregor, Hitachi, Moy, McGregor, Hitachi, O'Reilly. That's your kind of tried and tested in there. But Iwata, when he has come on, has showed up really well, and it will be interesting to see him get a full game when the manager decides if and when that is. I'm just not at this moment in time inclined to tinker with the team too much, especially with what's at stake. And as I say, there's 10 games left, and you want to just be as clinical and professional as you can be. And unless we're made aware of any other injury problems, then I think that there's going to be a midfield of that 3. Play your strongest midfield, unless he informs, I say the manager informs us any differently. You've got to think McGregor's a certainty, haven't you? And then, as I say, Hitati's just hit a purple patch. Moy's been playing excellently. O'Reilly, when he's played recently, has done very well. So I'm just thinking it's between those 4, isn't it, really?
Yeah, those have sort of been the 4 that have obviously been in. 3 of them a good chunk of last season, and then all 4 of them this season. So you would just imagine that that's probably going to be what the manager wants to continue with until the end of the campaign. Obviously, look, if there's a knock, I'm sure Awat will be one of the first players to sort of maybe move up the pecking order. But I think at the moment it will probably have to be, or it won't probably have to be. It will probably be the sort of midfield that you've just been going with, Tony. I can't see him tinkering too much, but there's still going to be minutes for Awata to get. You know,
without a doubt,
on getting the odd like 20 minutes here and there. And you also said you've been impressed with him. I think we've pointed out before he came on in the cup final, he was pretty sort of accomplished. I don't really remember him making a mistake when he came on in the cup final. He was good with the ball at his feet. He was strong. His sort of understanding the space was pretty good. And I've basically thought that pretty much every game he's came on. And I think next season he could be a really good option. J League Player of the Year, so he's been sort of performing at a high level. He's came off a title win season himself, so I'm sure he's got a big future at Celtic. It's maybe just the way this season's been going because of the momentum that the team have got. Maybe if the team had been struggling a wee bit, he actually might have came in and got some more minutes.
Yeah.
But the midfield's also been probably one of the strongest parts of the team. I mean, we've discussed potential player of the years. You're always kind of naming Hitati, maybe Moyes in there. McGregor's always somebody you consider. So that is really sort of the heartbeat of the team. It's just probably difficult to break into that at the moment. But yeah, without repeating myself too much, I've got no doubt that it will definitely be an option next season.
Beach Boys is gone early. Joe Hart, Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Kobe Bernabe. Oh, Bernabe, there you go. Callum McGregor, Rio Tati, Aaron Moy, Haksabanovic, and Jota up front. No Kyogo either. Beach Boys, that's There's a line-up for you, Aidan. It's Beach Boy's opinion, that's fine, but I would think Kyogo would certainly be a starter at this minute in time. Everything he's touched is turned to gold, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say particularly given he's not going to be playing for Japan either, so he is going to have 2 weeks that he can sort of, chill out a wee bit to be unanalytical about it, Tony. But I think Kyogo will probably start tomorrow unless he's got a knock. But I think the Bernabe one, look, that could be an option. Obviously, with Greg Taylor, we're assuming that he has been playing through this knock, like Steve Clark said. So does that then mean he's going to play tomorrow because he's going to get sort of 2 weeks off in the international break where he's not playing games all the time, maybe, or has the knock actually got a bit serious since the game on Saturday, the game last week, sorry, and he isn't going to be available. I don't know. We'll just need to sort of wait and see on that. But I definitely would be. I mean, what do you think, Tony? I'd be pretty surprised if Kyogo didn't feature or didn't sort of feature from the start tomorrow, unless there has been a knock in the last couple of days.
Kyogo's a certain starter, isn't he? Overall, at this moment in time, it's like that, and that's the way it is, as they say. But no, I genuinely think that Kyogo will start and will keep playing the kind of his bit part coming on whenever the game's safe until such times when the league is possibly wrapped up and they give him more starting game time. I'm not disliking or what he's brought to the table so far, but I just think Kyogo's undroppable, isn't he? If there's such a thing, although Anne says there's no undroppable players, but I think Kyogo at this minute in time is one of the first picks on the team sheet, isn't he? Now, Kevin Ferrier said he put his team up. I can't see it, Kevin. If you put it back in the comments, I'll flick your team up, but I can't see it in the comments, so please do that, and I'll put it up. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I know he might play a different team tomorrow, but I'm just inclined to think he'll go with a strong team and just get the job done, Aidan.
Yeah, I think it will probably be a similar side as much as possible to the one it played last week. Injuries obviously permitting. We'll need to see what the injury situation is, but I think outside of that, it'll be a relatively similar starting 11, Tony, just because of how well the team did. And that has been a sort of core. I mean, there could be a wee tweak here and there with wingers, etc. Maybe one player, but I just think Ange he's been relatively consistent with his starting 11s for the most part. I know there was a few changes in the midweek game to Hearts at home, the 3-1 game, but I think that was probably to do with injuries more than anything, and giving Alistair Johnson a rest, who basically played every game bar one since he joined. So I think it'll sort of continue the momentum most of the team, Tony, to be honest.
Scott McGill coming in with his team: Hart, Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Kobayashi, Taylor, Iwata. He's got Iwata in his team. Callum McGregor, Moy, Jota, Kyogo, and Haksabanovic. And he's even went for a scoreline 4-0 Celtic. And there you go. Yeah, that's it. We can all pack up and go home. Scott McGill sorted it. There's your team. There's your scoreline, Aidan. Wonderful stuff. But yeah, I've got to say, I think Kyogo will be leading the line tomorrow. Could be wrong in that, but yeah, I've been wrong before, Aidan. But Ange's an avid watcher.
The teams have been good recently, but though, Tony, we've all been quite close.
To be fair, yeah. Ange's an avid watcher of the Celtic way, so he knows what to do. So all good. But yes, it's when Celtic going into the international break, Aidan, just no slip ups. Just need to keep at least that momentum going, as you say, and 9 points ahead in the league. Whatever happens at Fir Park, is it Ibrox or Fir Park? I can't remember.
Fir Park, the game's at Tony.
Yeah. So whatever happens, there'll be some element of pressure there, whatever the result is. So you just got to live with that and deal with that. But I think this team are used to coping with pressure in situations, as the managers always say, they find ways of solving problems, whatever obstacles put in front of them, they always overcome it. So I think you've just got to trust that, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, Ange won't be mentioning anything about the Rangers game. I don't think it will just be focusing ourselves. We play our own football. So that's been his mentality really since he arrived, and I don't think that will change for the games tomorrow. But obviously, there is always that sort of extra edge, probably from a fan's point of view more than anything. You know what it's like if you're heading at the game and you maybe, you check the Rangers score on your phone. I always think back to last season when it was Rangers were playing Ross County, I think, earlier on the day. Celtic were playing Dundee United. Ross County got a late equaliser, and then there was the momentum carried Celtic through. Ended up being a bit stressful. Abada scored late on, and that was seen as like a big turning point. Obviously, it wouldn't really be this to the same extent as that if Rangers did drop points tomorrow, because also Celtic already 9 points clear. But it can add an extra edge. But I think it's more just from the fans' points of view, Tony, to be honest, rather than the manager and the players, because he's just focused on himself, which is, and I can imagine will be the exact response if he gets asked that question.
Of course it will,
as well. You can map a few of the responses out by now, I think. But
now Kevin Ferrer managed to get his team in, so there we go. Cheers, Kevin. He's gone for Hart, Taylor, Kobayashi, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Johnson, Callum McGregor, Hatate, Moy, Jota, Kyogo, and Haksabanovic. Strong team there, Kevin. I'm inclined to agree that with quite a lot of that, if not all of it, but without giving too much away. But that's as strong as it gets. I think you have to go hard and go strong, especially when you're going into an international break. Results just paramount and imperative, Aidan.
Yeah, you've just got to get another win. They've been on such a good run. Won all but one game this year, 25 out of 27 league games, I think it is. Only one domestic game you've lost. You want to just keep the sort of momentum going at this point, and you go into an international break with a win, you come back, you've only got 9 league games left and you're 9 points clear. I think there's a position that if anybody had offered you at the start of the season, you would have been absolutely delighted. I think I've mentioned a few times, or even at this sort of turn of the year, the sort of gap that Celtic had, if you could have got even 6 points at the end of the season, you'd have been happy, never mind 9 points at January as it was then. So, yeah, the team's in a really good position, and you just want to finish on a high before there's no club football for a couple of weeks, and I'm sure that's the sort of message Andrew will be putting forward to the players.
6-1, says Kevin as well. Very emphatic.
I repeated the last time.
Bold prediction, yes, exactly. A repeat of the last time. Okay, Aidan, we've gone nearly 28 minutes. Kevin says 6-1. Am I going first or are you going first?
You go first, Tony.
Score prediction, okay. I will say 4-0 for Celtic.
I'll go just one less. I will go 3-0 Celtic.
3-0. Are you giving us scorers, or is that just too much?
Yeah, I'll give you scorers. Kyogo, I reckon I'll get another one. Hatate, and I fancy Jota for one, I think, as well, Tony.
Oh, you fancy Jota as well? There you go, Alan Woods 5-0, K Matsu agreeing with me 4-0, Kirsty O'Connor agreeing with me 4-0, Pete McGee agreeing with myself 4-0, lots of 4-0, 5-0s, 6-1s, Wombat 2-0, Andrew Gillier 2-0 as well, Aidan's gone 3-0. Well, all very positive, Aidan, let's put it that way. But we wait with bated breath to see what Ange Postecoglou says today. I'm waiting on somebody mentioning 2 words to him, Aidan. Crystal and Palace. There you have it. And he'll deal with that, no doubt, in the way he's been dealing with everything that's been thrown at him in terms of other managerial job links. But I'm sure somebody will ask him, won't they?
Inevitably, Tony, based off what happened, obviously when Jesse March left Leeds, you would have to imagine that it's going to be something similar. When Lampard left Everton as well, it was sort of Ange. For Cosro's appointments took a wee while. I think there was at least a couple of press conferences in between those managers getting sacked that Ange had before there was any new manager announced. So he was sort of asked quite a lot. So I'd imagine the question will be floated. But once again, I think it will be something along the lines of, I'm not even thinking about that, mate. Or something like that.
What's he been linked with? Southampton, Everton, Spurs.
Southampton as well. I actually forgot about that. Southampton, Everton, and Leeds. I think it's been
Leeds. So half the English Premiership, basically half the top flight in England.
Yeah, half of the bottom half of it.
Yes, indeed, and he keeps swatting them away. But yeah, there you go. We'll see what happens. Always an interesting watch when the manager speaks, isn't it? And yes, indeed. So well. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed that. We've covered Celtic, Hibs, preview extensively there, and we will get our predicted 11s, Aidan, in the newsletter, and you can look out for that dropping in your inboxes if you subscribe to Celtic Radio. You'll get that. That'll come soon with a couple of let's say quandaries, Aidan, not dilemmas, just quandaries.
Yeah, a few quandaries, Tony. That's probably a good way to put it.
Quandaries, yes, not dilemmas or headaches, just quandaries. But there you go. But as you can see, running along the bottom, guys, we've got a new offer for you. Subscribe to the Celtic Way website, supporting top quality football journalism, covering the club you love, and it'll cost you £1 for 3 months of unlimited access to everything that's written on the website, all for the click of a button. You know what I'm going to say, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And then we'll big up our sponsors, SENECA. And the Celtic Way morning briefing is now sponsored by SENECA Medical Group. And SENECA are the #1 hair transplant company in Europe, and they offer innovative hair restoration treatments. And you can find out more about SENECA via the links in the description of this video. All it remains for me to say is thank you, Aidan, for your contribution today. Thank you for your comments, guys. Have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, wonderful Red Nose Day, whatever one you prefer. Have a cracking Friday. Result dependent, of course, Aidan. Weekend always is, isn't it?
Always is, aye. Always is.
I'll say that, but take care, guys. Have a cracking day. Thanks, Aidan. And we'll reconvene on Monday and talk about what happened at the weekend.
Cheers, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day again.